So, Chapter 3, Choose Your Topic, asks, are we even talking about the right thing? Honestly, Alex, this chapter hit home. Ever find yourself arguing in circles and realizing this isn't even the real issue?
Oh, yes. The authors say crucial conversations are often topic-rich environments, lots of issues tangled together. They gave that example of Wendy and her boss Sandrine, remember? Wendy presents a project timeline, Sandrine expects it done in half the time. Boom, they've got a disagreement on timeline. But then in the conversation, suddenly a bunch of other issues explode out. Sandrine had already promised higher-ups an earlier deadline. She questions if Wendy is a team player. Wendy feels set up to fail, etc. In minutes, the discussion went from one topic, timeline, to like 5 topics: trust, fairness, workload, respect, even do I want this career popped into Wendy's head.
I was practically yelling at the book, time out! What are they actually arguing about now? It illustrates the point. In a heated moment, conversations can swirl and churn through multiple issues. If you're not careful, you end up fighting about everything and resolving nothing. The authors ask a key question. Wendy is clearly facing a crucial conversation, but which conversation? That's golden. Before diving in, figure out what the real issue is.
They outline common mistakes we make in choosing topics. One is picking easy over hard. We might avoid the real tough issue and instead argue about something minor that we think we can win. Like, you're really upset that your partner isn't helping raise the kids, but you start a fight about how they loaded the dishwasher because that feels easier than saying, I feel alone in parenting. We hope the other person will infer the big issue from the small hints. Spoiler, they usually don't.
So true. The other mistake, recent over right. We tend to focus on the latest incident rather than the overall pattern. For example, instead of addressing that a coworker consistently disrespects your ideas, you only mention what happened in today's meeting. They apologize for today and you drop it, but the pattern remains. We avoid bringing up old stuff, but sometimes the old stuff is the real issue.
Exactly. Chapter 3 warns that if you keep having the same conversation repeatedly, like déjà vu dialogue, or if you walk away from a discussion feeling skeptical that anything will change, or if your emotions escalate during the talk, those are signs you're on the wrong topic. I found that checklist so practical. For instance, if midway I'm getting more upset, it might be because we're skirting the real issue and I subconsciously know it's not being resolved. Or if we agree on something, but I secretly think, this won't actually solve it, that's a red flag.
I nodded at the déjà vu one. If you're on round 5 of the same argument, the problem isn't them, it's that you're having the wrong conversation. Ouch, but true. Maybe you've been arguing about symptoms, not the root cause.
So, how do we find the right topic? The chapter gives a strategy. Unbundle the issues. They introduce the CPR model: content, pattern, relationship. Here's how I think of it. Content issues are about a specific event. The first time something happens. Example, you were 20 minutes late to the meeting today. Pattern issues arise when it's repeated behavior. This is the 3rd meeting in a row you've been late, seems like a pattern now. Relationship issues are deeper, affecting how we view each other. Your chronic lateness is making me question if I can rely on you, which is straining our working relationship. The idea is, if something keeps happening, the conversation might need to move from content to pattern. And if that pattern has eroded trust or respect, it's now a relationship conversation.
Yes. They even say many of us struggle because we keep talking content when it's long since escalated to a pattern or relationship problem. Like, Terry always borrows your stuff without asking, pattern, and now you feel disrespected, relationship. But you only ever say, hey, you took my shirt yesterday, content. You're not addressing the bigger issue. CPR helps pinpoint the level of conversation needed.
And they urge addressing patterns sooner than we feel comfortable, maybe even after the second occurrence, so it doesn't solidify. They gave a rule of thumb. First time is incident, content. Second time is could be coincidence. Third time is definitely a pattern. That's helpful for knowing when to graduate to the pattern talk.
Another great tool. They suggest actually listing all the issues swirling in your mind, then picking one. Ask yourself, what do I really want to resolve right now? For Wendy and Sandrine, the book imagined a list of timeline feasibility, Sandrine's broken promise, committing Wendy without discussion, Wendy feeling pressured, question of Sandrine's trust in Wendy, etc. You can't tackle all simultaneously. Wendy might decide the core issue to address first is trust. Like, do you trust me to set realistic timelines? Handling that might make the other issues easier.
And one pro tip. Let the other person help choose the topic if multiple issues are on the table. The extended example at the end of the book shows this. Two sisters are arguing over their late mother's estate, but underneath are feelings of guilt and resentment about caregiving. One sister smartly says, "Sounds like we need to talk about other things first. Is it that you feel like guilt tripped you about not being there for Mom?" She lets her sister indicate what's bothering her most first. By addressing that underlying issue, the relationship strain, first, they clear the way to then handle the money decisions. It's a clever move.
I took away a personal plan. Next time I'm upset, I'll pause and ask, what's the real issue here? Is it the immediate incident, or a pattern, or something about our relationship or respect? That alone could save me from chasing the wrong rabbit down the hole.
Great plan. Chapter 3 essentially teaches us to diagnose before we discuss. Otherwise, we might do an impressive job having the wrong conversation. It's like polishing the deck of a sinking ship. Lots of effort, no real fix. The chapter's message: talk about the right thing in the right order. If there's a big elephant, like lack of trust or recurring behavior, address that rather than a one-off detail.
One more, Jim. They gave 3 signals for wrong topic. You mentioned them. Escalating emotions, lingering doubt, déjà vu talks. I almost want to put those on a sticky note to check in heated moments. If I notice one, it's yellow light time. Step back and rethink what we should really be talking about.
Chapter 3 was surprisingly actionable, wasn't it? It's less about how to talk and more about what exactly to talk about. But it's crucial, pun intended. If you pick the right battle, you're halfway to resolution. Pick the wrong one, and you'll be stuck or fighting again tomorrow.
Well said. So now that we can identify the right conversation, what's next? Chapter 4, Start with Heart, if I recall, is about motive, making sure we bring the right intentions and stay focused on what we really want. Ready to explore the heart?
Absolutely. Let's figure out how to get our hearts in the right place before our mouths open.